As a guy, you just always remember it's not about the meal. It's always something else.
I have to admit, I've been. It's not about the meal. A few times.
That's the difference between cats and dogs.
Mr. Jones, this is Miss Tillman.
Yes.
When this is over, can you call me about Ricky Promise, please?
Yes, I'll give you a call.
Thank you.
This lady called and says, "You want to send me the invitation to Skype or to Zoom?" And I'm like, "Okay, who are you? Skylar?" It doesn't help me at all, man.
Who is it?
The mom for Rodney Wood.
Rodney who?
Wood.
Not even on there.
All right, so this is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court for Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. In compliance with Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 30 related to coronavirus, we are not conducting in-person proceedings. However, we are using Zoom to conduct these hearings. In order to comply with the Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 13, also known as the Open Courts Act, we are making all court proceedings available for the public to observe. And so we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube. This is still a court proceeding, so the court does expect everyone to behave appropriately for court, which means that you're expected not to be in bed laying down. We expect you to be dressed appropriately without pajamas or your bathrobe on. Please do not use the restroom or be with a paramour. Please refrain from having bright lights from behind your head, which tends to shadow your face. Also, if you are not an officer of the court, then your camera does need to be on for these proceedings. Also, please refrain from having domesticated animals walking across the screen. No portion of this broadcast may be recorded, copied, or published. Violations of this order are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in the Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. So let's go ahead and start. I think the first one we have is Mohammed Ahmed.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Hold on a second. Let me do a couple things. Do we know who Sabrina Webster is? She arrived late.
Yes, Your Honor. She's the mother of the last detention hearing that you're going to do today.
Okay. So I'll give her pass
She
this.
did tell me that her coverage is spotty, so she might drop in and out.
Okay, I understand. All right, so I'm going to say Dylan's iPhone, you need to turn your camera on. And see, Toya, please turn your camera on. I think we're good. So again, Dylan and Toya, please turn your cameras on. This is the second request. All right, so Mohammed Ahmed, let's see. Is he in detention?
Yes. Attorney requested.
Can we have Mr. Ahmed, please? All right. I mean, whoever's in our detention facility, we need Mohammed Ahmed. All right, so do we have a supervisor here? Is there a supervisor from JPD here?
Yeah, Tony Dalton.
Mr. Darthard or Ms. Darthard? Mr. Darthard?
Yes, I'll make a phone call with you on it.
Yeah, if y'all can, let me know. We'll go to the next one while we're waiting. Alan Baza Vilvazo. Mr. Bavel Bavazo,
He is in detention, Your Honor.
on the same computer, same room?
I don't see him, but I know he's detained.
Like, is detention ready at all? All right, who do we have from HPOD?
Right here, sir.
Hello, who do we have there? What child?
This young man, Xavier Brown, sir.
All right, Mr. Brown, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought to the facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days, and I have to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed, well, actually, you're a runaway, so you do not have an attorney in this case. The point of this hearing is you are listed as a runaway within the state of Texas. And so there has to be a hearing to decide whether to return you to the county that's requesting you or to keep you here. And pretty much, let's see, you're at the airport. Let's see, there was a police pursuit and you're a passenger and you're runaway out of Irving, Texas. And so we took you into custody, could not make contact with your dad. Do we have the father here?
Judge, I spoke with father this morning and sent him the link.
Okay. Mr. Brown, are you here? Robert Brown?
Your dad.
Do we have a Robert Brown? All right, well, then at this point, who's the probation officer of this one? Kelly Shannon?
That'll be me, Judge.
Let's see.
Miss Crudup.
Okay, hello, Ms. Crudup. Can you go ahead and start a referral to CPS? Say the parents are not showing up. They know the child's here and they're not refusing to pick him up.
Sure
So
can.
go ahead and start the intake for him. All right, so Xavier, just to let you know, since your father has not appeared to pick you up, we're gonna go ahead and call CPS and have them pick you up, and they can start the process of getting you back home. Just let you know if you run away that this is gonna happen every time you're picked up, all right? Okay, just if you got other problems going at home, man, there's gotta be better ways to resolve it instead of just leaving the house, okay? All right, thank you, Mr. Brown. All right, so do we have Ahmed here yet?
Your Honor, I did speak with detention, and so they should be getting him here any second.
Okay. Mr. Dothert, can you find out why they weren't able to be here on time?
Yes, sir.
All right, I appreciate that. I know it's not your fault. I'm just curious why that happened. So, all right, are you Mr. Ahmed?
Yes, sir.
All right, do we have the parents? I think they were here earlier.
Yes, sir, have a seat.
Ms. Hopkins is the attorney. Hello, Ms. Hopkins.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, Mr. Ahmed, this is a detention hearing. I'm reviewing your case, deciding whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. And you have the right to remain silent. You have a right to attorney. Ms. Hopkins is here and she requested this hearing. Ms. Hopkins, for what purpose did you request this detention hearing?
Your Honor, I requested this detention hearing in order to ask the court to reconsider and release my client today. He has been 1-0 outstanding and he needs to begin his FPP program. He can't do that if he is detained, and it's important for him and his father to participate in that program.
Right. Okay, so Dad, do you speak English?
Yes, it's all right.
Good. Where's he getting his marijuana from?
Huh?
Where does your son get his marijuana from?
I have no idea.
But Dad, you see how that's a problem, right? I mean, I understand he's got an attitude with you and
Yeah,
we need to
because
fix that. Hold on a second. I understand he's got an attitude with you and we got to fix that, but I need your help, right? Like you have to know who he's hanging out with, what he's doing. I can't do this by myself and you can't do this by yourself, right? Muhammad he's causing problems. And I think between the two of us, we can really help him and put him on the right path. But, you know, if I think, and I'm sure you work and I'm sure you're busy, but I think you need to be more proactive about seeing who he's hanging out with and how he's getting illegal, how he's using drugs, okay? So I'm okay releasing him to you, all right? But I'm gonna ask you, next time he comes in here, or next time he tests positive on a drug test, and he's positive for marijuana again, I'm gonna expect you to be able to answer that question. Is that fair enough?
yes, sir.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's go. Yes, sir? Oh, you were
Uh,
saying something?
Yeah, because in our home, we are not allowed even nobody smoking. But maybe last time at the school.
Yeah. So Dad, I have no doubt that you are not the one giving him the marijuana, right? I know you're not, but he's getting it from somewhere, right? And so I think we need to figure out, just as a parent, and this is one of the hard parts as a parent, because as Muhammad is growing up,
Sure.
he's getting more freedom and making more choices. But if he's making bad choices, then it's up to the parent to tighten up the reins and be more restrictive on him, okay? And so that's just something we have to do. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna release him. He has a history of runaway. So I'm gonna place him on electronic monitor, all right, to make sure he's where he's supposed to be. Muhammad, if you violate the terms of an electronic monitor, we're gonna bring you back here and you'll come back to Kimbo. I'm also gonna place you on a sweat patch. Do you know what a sweat patch is?
No, sir.
Okay, a sweat patch is kind of a sticker we put on your arm and it absorbs the sweat, the oils coming out of your skin. And anything that you consume in your body will come out in the oils and be absorbed by the patch. We send it off to a lab. The lab tests it. So if you use marijuana, from the time you're released, it will come out in the oils and we'll know and we'll just bring you back here. So you've got to stay drug-free, alcohol-free. Your electronic monitor means you stay at home or where you're going to be where you're supposed to be, all right? I'm
Yes, sir.
keeping you on a tight leash. I'm giving you this chance, even though you're on probation and you broke the rules of your probation. I'm giving you this chance because you earned it by being level 1 outstanding. So let's try it out. After about 30 days, if you've done fine, electronic monitor will take it off. As far as the sweat patch, we'll see how you do. And if you're clean and you're doing fine, then we can stop the sweat patch. But if you're causing problems, you're just coming back to Kimbo. You understand, Mohammed?
Yes, sir.
All right, here's the #1 rule for you. You got to respect your parents, respect
Yes,
your
sir.
elders, respect your attorney, your probation officer, your dad, your mom, your aunt, uncle, your teachers. You got to show respect. You know that. You know better than what you've been doing. So I'm expecting you to be respectful. They tell you stuff back here. Our detention officers tell you, you know what DNA is here, right?
Yes, sir.
Do not associate. So if your dad tells you do not associate with somebody, you know what? You got to not associate. You're level 1-0 here. I expect you to be a level 1-0 at home. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You're asking me for this chance, right?
Yes, sir.
You're telling me you can be level 1-0 at home, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you're not, what's going to happen?
I'm gonna come back.
Come back. All right, Mohammed. Hopefully I won't see you again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hawkins. Alan Bazavilvazo. All right, Alan, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, and I'm reviewing your case, deciding whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You're 16 years old. You are not on probation, but police give a report for a shooting call. Found a victim that had been shot twice in the chest. This is, I don't even know under this. You're level 3, so I'm not going to release you. You're detained. Thank you, Alan. All right, Ethan Nordyke. All right, bring him back there. Let's bring Alan back.
You want him back, sir?
Yes, sir. You have a message for me, Alan?
I'm good.
No, I don't think you are because you're level 3 and you just flipped me off with both hands. So you have a message for me? Is there something you want to tell me?
I didn't flip you out, sir. I was putting back on my mask.
Is there something you want to tell me?
I'm good.
This is still a court setting. So, you know, Alan, the thing is, I already have a note in here that no judge is to release you without my approval. So I'm the one guy in the world that decides whether you get out of here or not, no matter what your level is. It's your poor decisions that's deciding what your future is going to hold. You're also looking at, which I think there's not a determinate sense. Who's here?
It's a D40, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
It's a D40.
D4, okay, so it is determinate sense of approval. So I'm the one guy that decides if you go to me instead of the jury, whether you go to TJJD and TDC for up to 40 years.
I understand.
So if you want to go and do what you want to do and have the attitude that you do, then that's your choice. Just remember that decisions have consequences. So the only reason why I'm not even considering releasing you is because level 3, decisions have consequences. So, Mr. Allen, I suggest that you start making better decisions. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Ethan Nordyke.
You want Nordyke next, Judge? I got Brown
Yes,
next. You want Nordyke?
Yes, please. We've already done Mr. Brown.
Okay.
Six by the time he gets out. All right, Mr. Nordyke, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention hearing. Deciding whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Mr. Adler is your attorney. See, you are level 1 outstanding since Christmas Eve. You're 16 years old. Let's see, you're currently on probation. Is that right? Let's see. Ms. Hall, he's currently on probation for theft of property. Is that correct?
No, sir. He's currently on probation for robbery.
For robbery, okay. There we go. For felony robbery on an indeterminate. And then now, North Hills, made a referral saying that November 12th, they were dispatched. Victim said that they were walking on Janetta, was approached by unidentified person, showed a handgun, demanded the wallet, and then they stole his wallet and cell phone and hit him in the face with a handgun. So a month before, North Hills SRO called, said that the guy was with the person when he was robbed. He had driven the first victim to sell some weed. The first person was selling weed to the person he sold it to, robbed him at gunpoint. And then victim 2 was a driver. Victim 3 was the front passenger seat. Victim 1 was backseat behind the driver. When they drove away, suspect opened the rear door, displayed a gun, racked the slide, demanded all their stuff. And so hit victim 1 in the back of the head with a handgun 3 times. They took cell phone, wallet with $10 of cash, and 3 grams of weed. The suspect ran from the scene. Search warrant on a gun, the bedroom. I guess they tracked the phone. So and the phone was found in a bush outside the apartment. So all right. So I'm trying to see how we related Ethan here.
Your Honor, the phone was found outside the apartment belonging to Ethan's girlfriend, and the girlfriend's brother is the one that told the police that Ethan was involved and found Ethan's fingerprints on the phone in the bushes.
Okay. Well, oh, that's right. Ethan's fingerprints are on there. All right, Ethan, you understand how I feel about kids with guns. And so I'm glad you're level 1 outstanding, but I'm extra cautious about this one. Do we have a parent here? Ethan? Yes, we do.
Yes.
All right. I'm extra cautious about kids with guns, especially when the guns are used in the commission of an offense. So I have to be absolutely comfortable before I release you. I'm glad you're level 1 outstanding, but you've actually been, Ms. Hall, why did he drop down in his behavior level?
He hasn't. He's been on level 1 since the first day he could be, and he's not had any
Okay.
offenses since
Okay.
then.
Okay, Ethan, you're on the right track. All right, I'm not completely comfortable yet. It's not like you get to level 1-0 at the 10-day I automatically release you. I slow down, I tap the brakes whenever there's a gun involved. So, but keep up the good work, and we'll consider this. But you getting to level 1-0 and keeping it is the way you get the conversation started for me to consider your release. All right? Thank you, Ethan. Next, we have Ricky Promise.
Can I speak real quick, Mr. Judge King?
Well, so here's the thing. If you want to tell me something, your attorney doesn't want you to talk. If you want to ask me a question, I don't mind answering the question. So do you have a question for me, or do you want to tell me something?
I have a question, sir.
Okay, yeah. What's your question?
So I've been on level 1 since I've been here, and I'm no flight risk. I already have my GED. I would just ask, can you put me on the monitor until my court date, which is in 8 days? My grandma has cameras all over the house, so essentially it would be house arrest until my court date.
Sure. I understand, and that's a very compelling argument. It's giving me something to think about. But again, if this was just like a UUMV or something, I'd be okay with it. But the fact is, I mean, there was a gun involved. I am extra cautious, and all the kids in Tarrant County know. Like, I'm the one judge that if there's a gun used, I'm really, really careful about it. All right. Because the last thing I want, you'd be surprised at the number of kids that try and rob somebody with a gun or like an airsoft gun, and the victim actually has a real gun. So part of this is to protect you. Part of this is to protect the community. But I have to be extra cautious before I release the kid when a gun is involved.
Yes, sir.
I'm just very careful. So I know it's discouraging, but don't give up on this. All right. The level 1 is you got to get there. You got to hold it for me to feel comfortable, just because of how serious having a gun is. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Nordyke. Ricky Promise. All right, Mr. Promise, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing. I'm deciding whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. If you have the right to remain silent, you have a right to an attorney. Ms. Tillman, your attorney, is here. I think last time, we had like mom and stepmom here, right?
Yes, sir.
Dad?
Oh, yeah, we had stepmom.
Okay, Toya is stepmom. Is mom here this time?
I can't see you.
Your Honor, I'm not seeing her on.
Okay, what about dad?
No, dad's not on.
Okay, so it's only mom here. All right. So, Ms. Tillman, you said dad is incarcerated?
Yes.
Okay, let's go back. All right, so this is where robbery call victim said the victim was missing, and then we had consent to use the vehicle. There was OnStar. The vehicle was on campus drive. Police tried to stop. Vehicle drove off and ran multiple stop signs, drove the wrong direction on the roadway. There was a AK-47 thrown out the vehicle during the chase. Vehicle was stopped and turned out to be Latoya's stepson. So he was placed under arrest for tampering with evidence, unlawfully carrying a weapon, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, and evading in a motor vehicle. He was brought over here. And he's currently on probation for a felony level offense. All right, let's see. And we give him a drug test, and it was negative for marijuana. Okay, so want to release him back to the community for electronic monitor. All right, Mr. Jones, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he's on your caseload and he's picked up these offenses. And you're wanting to get services in the community, which you cannot get here at Kimbo. My question for you is, I mean, I know you're asking me to release him, right? You're putting your name on it? You think this kid deserves it?
Well, originally I was asking for him to be released on a monitor, but I know Judge Porter recently on the 30th requested a placement search for him.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if he needs to be released based off of Judge Porter's assessment.
Well, so.
But I'm okay with him being released on a monitor. I was, yes.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Yes, Ms. Tillman.
He's been a 1-0 from the day he walked in here. And I've had plenty of conversations with Mom. I know that she will.
So the plan is to release him to mom, not stepmom?
A stepmom, I mean. I call her Mom too.
Right.
To release her to stepmom. She has assured us at the hearing with Judge Porter that she has other people that can properly supervise Ricky at home. She sent me a text message this morning that said she's willing to hire ADT services to make sure that he's secure and in the house. I know Judge Porter is asking us to look for a placement. I think that Ricky understands the seriousness of proving that he will be at home, stay at home, and assist in trying to find a placement. I trust stepmom. I think she really understands how bad Ricky messed up.
So, Ms. Tillman, do we know where the gun came from?
The gun was stepmom's. It was in the car when he took the car.
Mom had an AK-47 in her car.
Stepmom did, yes, and she has a concealed handgun license, Your Honor.
Let's set up a time for, just reschedule this detention hearing for when stepmom can be here.
Stepmom is here.
Oh, I thought Toyo was mother.
No, she's my stepmom, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Her name
All right.
is LaToya. That is stepmom.
All right. So
And he
LaToya,
lives with her.
that was your AK-47, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so, all right.
As I stated,
What are we gonna do? I'm sorry?
I stated before, going forward, we don't have any handguns in the home. If Ricky come back, it won't be any, except one that I keep in the vehicle, which is a 9 that the police didn't take because it was locked up in a case.
I understand. You know, I'm not second guessing your right to have a weapon. That is your right. So I just want to make sure that Ricky doesn't have access to other firearms. Like if you got them from the street, that would be my concern. If it's yours and you know where it's supposed to be, then that puts me at ease. Okay. Like it doesn't bother me hearing you say that it was yours, because you know what? He wasn't supposed to take your car anyways, right?
Right.
Okay. So what are we going to do different now about Ricky to make sure something like this doesn't happen again?
I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but I really think Ricky learned his lesson. Ricky, I mean, like I told Ms. Tillman this morning, I'm willing to hire, I will pay what I have to pay to get ADT. And that will give us the alarm if he tries to leave the home, even though me and his probation officer, Mr. Jones, was talking about the ones I got from Amazon. But I think ADT will make it better and easier for us to hear alarm if he do try to leave the home.
You don't have to get the service. You just get those door alarms on his window and his door. So once
We have them. I got them from Amazon already.
So once he goes to bed for the night, he's there till morning, right?
Okay.
So make sure he uses the bathroom before he goes to sleep, right? Or give him a Gatorade bottle or something. All right. So Ricky,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
Mr. Jones is going to bat for you, your attorney, your stepmom. I can give you this chance. I'm gonna let you know now. If that gun, we didn't know where it came from, I wouldn't be releasing you. The fact that your stepmom is saying that it's hers, and she's making remedial measures to prevent this from happening again, I'll give you a chance. But just so you understand, the placement search ordered by Judge Porter is still on. That's not going away. All right, that's to be decided later. Right now, it's simply about your detention or not detaining you. Okay, so you're level 1 outstanding. You got to be level 1 outstanding at home. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And what happens if you're not?
I'm gonna come back here.
Come back here. Okay. So what happens if you break your stepmom's do not associate order?
I'm gonna come back here.
Come back here. Okay.
Yes,
What
sir.
if you're slow to comply at home? What
Come
happens?
back here.
Back here. Refuse to participate. What happens?
Come back here.
You see how easy this is?
Yes, sir.
Just be a level 1 at home and you're fine. You and I have no issues. But if you start pushing the rules and losing points at home with your stepmom, there's an easy fix for that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Ricky.
Your Honor, this is a release on EM.
Release on EM. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Jakaya Smith. Mr. Smith, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing deciding whether to keep you or release you. By keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. The attorney, Mr. Adniji, is here. I remember seeing. I saw him in our earlier. Good morning, Mr. Adniji. Sorry. Mr. Adniji, did you make it back? No, I guess Mr. Hall, I'm going to ask you to sub in for Mr. Adniji.
Okay,
All right.
Judge.
So, Mr. Smith, you are 15 years old. Your prior history, including probation for unlawfully carrying a weapon, assault public servant. All right. So, November 20th, at 9 o'clock in the morning, police were dispatched for suspicious person call. When the officer got there, 2 people matched the description. First one identified as Jalen Smith, who later turned out to be Jakaya Smith. And so you got arrested for failure to ID. You had a warrant for you. The warrant was that contacted Mr. Victorson, your probation. Your mom contacted us saying that you ran away from home and didn't come back for 3 days. And then a week later, you left home again without permission, took some clothes, and showed up at your sister's house. Leave your clothes there, and she said no. So previously in July, you were referred for deadly conduct, discharge of firearm unlawfully, and unlawfully carrying a weapon. Police were called for multiple gunshots. You were identified as a person running towards a white car next to the dumpster. The car was showed to be stolen out of Euless, and there was a .40 caliber pistol located under the driver's seat with a magazine and 8 rounds. And at that time, you were run away out of Hearst. So, Jakayas, with your extensive history of runaway, I'm convinced that if I let you go, you would you would not appear for court. And so this is where, do we have a parent here? No,
I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay, hello, Ms. Webster. Okay, so Ms. Webster, I can only imagine your frustration, but I hope you understand that if he's willing to run away from the one person who's providing for him, caring for him, loving for him, everything like that, what's he gonna do to me? He's not gonna show up for court. So he's gonna do his own thing. And that's unfortunately, Jakayas, this is your past catching up with you. You know, it's not like everything's forgiven right away or at all. You don't deserve a second chance. You deserve a first chance. Second chances are a gift. And so I'm gonna go ahead and keep you here. Your next court date is on January 21st, and we'll see where things go from there. Thank you, Mr. Smith. All right, so Jordan's iPhone, please be on camera. No one wants to look at your ceiling. Thank you. All right, so at this point, I'm going to turn this over to Judge Terry to handle a couple of these detention hearings. I'll be back for the under 14s. Thank you, Judge Terry.
Thank you, Judge Kim. Spencer Gilbert. All right, Mr. Gilbert?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is a detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I should release you or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is Mr. Gladstone. I do believe I saw him.
I'm here, Judge.
Oh, hi, good morning. Happy New Year. All right, let's see. Your level 2 outstanding. Is there a parent or guardian here for him today?
Yes. Both of his parents are here.
Okay, I see. Oh, all right. He's level 2 outstanding. Let's see. He turned himself in just before Christmas, week before Christmas. I signed a DTA on the 10th for a runaway. Let's see. You were on interim supervision in Johnson County. They let us know that you ran away on the 9th of December. Got in trouble at home that day for a cell phone incident at school and not doing your work. Sister gave you the keys to her car so that you could sit in the car and calm down, but sometime around 7 p.m. they discovered that you had taken her car and you weren't anywhere in the neighborhood. Mom said that in the past she's allowed you to drive the car on the neighborhood. And then she called the Godly PD and reported you as missing. All right.
The judge's parents really want the young man back, and I believe Miss Yu is recommending a monitor. He's been in there for about 10 days. He was on level 1 most of the time, but there was an incident in the back where some kids are harassing him. Staff wouldn't intervene, and that bumped him down to a 2. But he'd like to go home. His parents would like to have him home, and I think he's learned his lesson. And I don't believe there's an underlying offense here, just to run away.
Okay, well, I mean, he took off in his sister's car without permission. He had permission to sit in it, is what it says, but they have recovered the car. Okay. Well, Mr. Gilbert, I know that there are 2 sides to every story. I do know, but I also know that you are, given that, you're still on level 2 outstanding. Just with your history of violations of court orders, I really need you to be on level 1 outstanding.
Miss,
Judge Terry.
I was on 1-0, but then as I was sitting down and there was a kid and he was behind me and he put his foot up and started he did it twice and kicked me in the back of my head. And then the juvenile officer didn't say nothing. So I turned around and told him to stop, and we started going at it. And then that's when he told me, he was like, "You're basically disrespecting me because you're saying something." And then I told him, "But you didn't say nothing at all." So, and then I told him, "Well, I'm not gonna just sit here and let him kick me in the back of my head though." And so he took 8 points and then made me a U or A, and I was already on 1A.
So I understand, that, like I said, there's 2 sides to every story. I have to trust that they're doing their job back there. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I have to trust that they're doing their job, and they have you at level 2 outstanding. And if it makes you feel any better, I was practically raised by nuns where if someone talked to us and we said anything back, then we were also in trouble too. I've been in the same situation, maybe not locked up, but being blamed or being punished for something, for reacting to something. And so I don't know if that's what happened. I don't know what happened, but with your history in particular, especially just since I've known you in the last several months too, your history with me even, I need you to be on level 1 outstanding. And then I would release you on a monitor as your attorney is requesting. So I think that's what you do need, but right now I have to keep you detained. Okay, I need you to be on level 1 outstanding.
How long do I gotta be on 1 outstanding?
Just be on level 1 outstanding, and then we can have the conversation at that time, okay?
Yes,
It just depends. Okay?
Just hold on a second with this child. So, Mr. Gilbert, I want to remind you, you're 17 years old now. You understand what happens when you're 17 and you drop under level 1, we go ahead and house you downtown in county lockup. So it's up to you to make sure that you stay level 1 outstanding for whatever reason. If not, we'll just send you downtown and you can finish your case off from the downtown jail.
Yes, sir.
Once you're 17, it is no longer a right to be here. It's a privilege to be here. And you earn that by being level 1 outstanding. Right? Judge Terry, I'm sorry for interrupting. I just want to remind this child because he just turned 17.
Thank you. That was on my list when I saw his date of birth, but I'll leave that part up to you, who you want to send downtown. So thank you, Judge Kim.
Judge, can we have the probation officer approach when he reaches 1-0? Or what will be the procedure?
I don't see any reason why not, Mr. Gladstone. I think that would be fine.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Aiden Hagel. Morning, Ms. Sherman.
Hello.
Let's see, where is Aiden? And do we have a parent or guardian for him?
I made his mom aware of his hearing, but I don't see her.
Okay. I wonder if Aiden's not cooperating. I do see he's on level 3, unacceptable.
He is.
Hi, Aiden. This is your detention hearing. I'm Judge Terry. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I can release you or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent and you have a right to an attorney. And Ms. Sherman is your attorney and she is here. And I do see that Mr. Hagel you are on level 3 unacceptable. So let's see, you also have a motion to modify scheduled for 2 days from now. Aiden, what am I supposed to do with you if you're on level 3 unacceptable?
Time.
You say it as if it's a question, right? Do you know that to be true, right?
Yeah. Yes,
I
ma'am.
can't trust you based on your history, and now you're back here level 3 unacceptable, so you're detained. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jeremy Hauser.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good morning, Mr. Daniels.
Good morning.
Yeah, it looks like mom and dad are just walking in. All right.
That's not dad, that's CPS, Your
Oh,
Honor.
okay. That's mom with CPS, right? I recognize mom. All right.
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Hauser, this is your detention hearing. As you know, the purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I can release you or whether I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent, and you have a right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Daniels, is here. I know you see him there. He was talking, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So you have been here since December 6th. You've been level 1 outstanding since December 29th. All right. Let me refresh my memory here. I know I've seen you before. Let's see. You had run away from your foster home. OCOK let the PO know that on December 1st. You did return to the foster home, but then you had run away again. And now that messed up your placement because, you know, that's the way that goes. You returned a couple of hours later. They were transferring you to, at that point, they were going to transfer you to an emergency shelter staffed by CPS workers. And then later that day, we received a report that you'd run away again. We're still looking for you on the 2nd of December. Violation of court order was filed on the 3rd. And then you were picked up and detained on Sunday the 6th. You tested positive for marijuana on December 9th. You're on court-ordered probation. You're scheduled for a motion to modify in a couple of days here. Where are you getting marijuana from when you're out, run away?
Like people ask me because I really don't hang around the best people, and I'll take responsibility for that. I don't hang around the best people, and they will ask me if I want some. I will feed into that and say yes.
Do those friends of yours know that you're on probation?
No, I don't think they do.
I'm calling them friends. They're not really your friends. Friends wouldn't be offering. Do they know you're 16?
Yes, ma'am, they do.
Real friends don't offer their friends drugs.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm glad that you recognize that they're not the best people to be hanging out with. I think you know better. You are having some serious struggles. I think you know better.
Yes.
I don't know what's gonna happen on the 7th at your motion to modify. I don't know who it's set in front of. Do you know, Mr. Daniels?
No, I don't know who it's set in front of, but the probation officer, Mr. Miller, has him scheduled. Well, he has a resource staffing scheduled tomorrow. So I won't, know what the outcome of that is. And so we may need to ask for a reset on the hearing on the 7th, but I hadn't talked to Jeremy about that yet. And I intend to do that today or tomorrow to find out if he wants to go forward or if he wants to reschedule that hearing. But there is a resource staffing scheduled for tomorrow. Now, since he has been on level 1 since his last detention hearing, it's his desire to get released to CPS today, pending his next court date.
So, Jeremy, I appreciate that you've been on level 1, especially because you've had all these runaways that makes it difficult to find a placement for you.
Yes, ma'am.
But you coming in here and being on level 1 for as long as you have been is going to help also, okay?
Yes.
That should be taken into consideration. That will be helpful. I do want to keep you in. I am concerned that you would be likely to run off, okay, and go find some more marijuana and stuff. I want to keep you here and see what happens. Please stay on level 1 outstanding, okay? Yes. That's really going to optimize placement opportunities for you, okay? So at this time, I'm going to keep you detained just to help you save you from yourself right now, okay? All right, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Jordan Saunders. I think I saw Miss Taylor here. Oh, there you are. Good morning.
Your Honor, I am covering this case for Mike Jennings today. This is Donnie.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Mr. Saunders?
Yeah.
All right, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. Purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent and you have a right to an attorney. And your attorney, Ms. Taylor, is here. Do you see her here on Zoom?
Good morning.
All right. Let's see. How long has he been level 1 outstanding? I see it's level 1 outstanding, doesn't say when.
Your Honor, he has been level 1 outstanding since the 23rd, I believe. He was dropped down to a level 1A just because of profanity, disrespectfulness to staff, and I believe he was talking about guns.
Talking about what? Talking
about guns.
Guns. Okay. Let's see. Came in on the 25th. I haven't seen you yet, Mr. Saunders. I don't think it's. You were referred in custody on the November 25th by Mansfield PD on the offense of engaging organized criminal activity. So it's about 3:10 in the morning. Officers were dispatched on a suspicious person call after a male suspect with a backpack triggered the 911 caller's Ring doorbell, ran off the property, apparently after noticing the video doorbell. Occurred at 2:50 a.m. Officers patrolled the area, noticed a parked vehicle with 2 occupants inside. Were speaking to 2 other subjects outside of the vehicle. Officers approached and 2 outside ones fled on foot, later apprehended by responding officers. They were identified as Jordan Saunders and Jonathan Sandefire, an adult. 2 suspects in the vehicle were identified as Jessica Rain, an adult, and Ahmed Muhammad, an adult, but on probation with JPD. Police located following items inside the suspect vehicle, confirmed stolen items located from victim 1's vehicle. A Mark Andrew purse, valued at 1, okay. Various things. Victim confirmed these items were inside of her car and advised police it's the reason the tablet's estimated value is so high. They're used for work. Let's see. Another vehicle in the neighborhood was found with its windows broken, but the owner indicated nothing had been taken. Suspect Jessica reportedly told the officers that all were involved in checking vehicles for property, and that suspect Ahmed had her come pick him up, and the other two pick him and the other two up in her vehicle. Says that you appeared before Judge Kim. He detained you on the 30th. The 14th, Judge Porter detained you, and the 21st, Judge Kim detained you. Supervisory caution for theft of property in 2019. Burglary of vehicles. Waived non-suited earlier in 2020 and later in 2020. And then you were on probation. Wow, you just got put on probation on November 20th, 5 days before this happened, for theft of property, more than 2,500, less than 30,000. Tested positive for marijuana and barbiturates when you go back in October of 2020. Was he not tested when he came in December or November?
Your Honor, it indicates that he refused a UA on the November 25th and again on the 26th.
Okay, so that means he was positive. Okay, psychological evaluation is scheduled for the 15th. He's set for court on the 8th in front of Judge Porter.
And Judge?
Yes.
I have not, there's been no petition filed on the new engaging in organized criminal activity. The detention officer's report indicates that a petition was filed on the motion to modify on December 21st of 2020. I have not seen that. There's nothing in text share. As far as I'm sitting here today, I don't know that a petition has been filed, and therefore, I think by law, as a matter of law, he would need to be released.
Well, the report I have says that there has been. Is there a DA here?
Yes, Your Honor, and I can check that real fast.
It says that a petition was filed on the engaging on the 21st of December, and then also on the violation.
Yes, give me one moment to check that. I apologize.
Okay.
Yes, it looks like that was filed on the 21st. It just hasn't been opened up yet to defense counsel, so I'll add her on that case and open that up right now.
Okay. All right, there you go, Ms. Taylor. I recall listening in on the previous detention hearing, come to think of it. I remember this was an issue. I think it was it Judge Kim? I think it was.
A different client, Judge.
Oh, was it a different one? Okay. I thought it was you too, wasn't it?
It was.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
There must be some glitch between text share and my computer.
Okay. There was another close one, I think, where there was just a few days from the time of the last detention hearing that they had to get something filed or not, or, you know.
It was, yeah. This one has apparently been filed, but we would still urge his release. The hearing on the 8th will not go forward because we're asking for a psychological evaluation and a placement search, a resource staffing. He's been level 1, whether it be 1A, 1O, he's been there. I understand the court's trepidation with the short period of time from the time he stipulated and received probation to the time he was brought back in. I have not had an opportunity to review the discovery, but the facts of him being brought back in, or disputed. And even just from the brief summary, I'm not sure who was in that car when, or when any of these alleged burglaries occurred. I mean, we're not here to litigate that. We're here to see if he remains in detention while his case works through the system. And I'm respectfully urging the court to release him on an ankle monitor. He did well on an ankle monitor. He was on, prior to being placed on probation, he was on an ankle monitor for a long period of time with no violations. So I have no reason to believe, based on his behavior in the detention facility and his previous behavior out on community-based detention, that he would succeed.
And let's see, Ms. Lyde, can you remind me again? I know you said it was that the reason he was bumped down a little bit was disrespectful towards staff and some profanities.
Profanity, Your Honor, and there was an indication that he was talking about guns.
Oh, talking about guns too, yeah. And so see, that's my biggest holdup with him, Ms. Taylor. It's not only that, I mean, it's huge for me that he came back in 5 days later and on a with similar behavior, the same behavior that he's been supervisory cautioned on, and then subsequently placed on probation for, and then the reason he's bumped down is not just not following orders, but his disrespect. And to me, that goes along the line with his disrespect for other people's things, his disrespect for the fact for himself that he's on probation, his disrespect for the rules. I mean, it's not just the bump down here, it's that what it's for. It's just consistent with his consistently poor choices. So I'm not comfortable releasing him. I'm not comfortable releasing him today. And while that may, you know, today. I mean, if he gets there, if he's still on level 1 outstanding after his evaluation or something, maybe, but I want to make sure that he's here and gets that evaluation done. I see, Dad, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I'm trying to speak if possible because I'm hearing stuff go on and I'd like to maybe say something, because as you had mentioned before, there's two sides to every story, but it seems that you're only taking into consideration one side of the story. And the staff, I've been documenting it and I have yet to say anything about it because the staff on many levels has not been doing their job, but I can't even bring that up in fear of retribution at this point. So as far as
retribution from who?
Retribution from the staff, because they're already doing things that I feel are illicit and uncalled for, but I can't mention it right now because my son's incarcerated in there. So the people that are holding him there have the ability to say whatever they want. And somebody like yourself is going to take that into consideration.
Well, see, my job is to take into consideration everything that's put before me, including your son's history, what he's doing now. I'm not taking everything that they say as to be true. I have to, previously has already been determined there was probable cause that an offense occurred and that your son was involved in it 5 days after he was placed on probation, okay? And there are other factors consistent with his behavior. He's here not because he's a victim of something, he's here from his own choices, sir. And so I don't know if there's, I don't know what you're talking about, what's going on back there, but there are,
I'm talking about many different things. I'm talking about they weren't even on time this morning. There's many different levels.
Okay. That has nothing to do with whether what I have to consider in order to release your son. I believe if I were to release him, that he is likely to reoffend, that there's not suitable supervision. He's not going to allow anyone to supervise him. And those are the things that I have to consider, okay?
Where's the proof based upon? Because he's proved that he, on an ankle monitor, he did well. And then also the the reason why we're charging him here is because somebody had stolen property in their vehicle and he wasn't even inside that vehicle. So
But we're
it's
not
just-
litigating the case today, sir. Today, I have to determine again whether I can release him or if I should keep him detained. And based on his
Okay.
own pattern of behavior, including his behavior here in the detention facility, then I am making the decision to go ahead and keep him detained, that he will be here to get his psychological evaluation, which apparently he needs in order for everyone to figure out what the best services are for him, okay?
And that's
So-
also a little bit what I'm concerned about, because he's been incarcerated for quite some time and he hasn't even had this psych evaluation.
He's not incarcerated,
So-
he's detained. There's a schedule. He was placed on a schedule for a psychological evaluation, and that's what he's gonna get. And I'm gonna make sure he gets it by keeping him here. If I were to release him, I'm not quite sure if he would return. I don't think that he's earned the right to be on an ankle monitor at this time. I may feel differently the next time. Perhaps Ms. Taylor, if he remains on level 1 and doesn't have any hiccups, that's why I asked for when he was placed on level 1 outstanding, which was the 23rd, maybe, and I'm not making any deals. Maybe once his psychological evaluation is done, Ms. Taylor, if you wanted to request a detention hearing, obviously you know you can do that. But at this time, he's going to be detained. And maybe if he didn't have the exact history that he has under these particular circumstances, if he had been on level 1 outstanding for this long, it may be different. But he created the facts here with his past pattern of behavior, not me. And so he's detained.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right, thank you. And I do believe the next two were already finished. We did, I did Price Tucker prior to starting the detention hearings. I have another matter with him. And then Rios Adorno has gone to placement. And so Judge Kim will take over the remaining of the detention hearings today. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Terry. All right, so at this point, before we bring the child in, Texas Family Code Chapter 54.08 says that when children are under the age of 14 years old, the proceedings shall be closed to the public unless the court finds the interests of the public or the interests of the child are better served by leaving the proceedings open to the public. So at this point, unable to make such a finding, I'm going to discontinue the broadcast of these proceedings online. Then my next question is, so Galaxy Note 10, please, I don't have your name. What is your name, sir? Galaxy Note 10, please state your name. Sir, for the third time, Galaxy Note 10, please state your name. So I'll remove them. All right. Okay, so at this point, Williams on.